Good morning, Tahir. Good morning, Tahir Gunesh sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing? Good morning
Oh,
from
fine.
Lithuania.
Okay, you were not visible, so I was getting a little bit confused. I am
Now,
Professor Ekeda. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you, sir.
Uh, uh, I am Professor Ekedas of English Department.
Welcome and namaste, sir.
Uh, how are everything at your end? It is okay?
Yes, we have a foggy day in Lithuania, as you see, -1 temperature, and it's a little bit gloomy and doomy kind of day.
We are also having foggy atmosphere over here.
Oh, very nice to hear. So we are on the parallel end.
Yeah. So we'll begin very soon.
All right.
Just after 2-3 minutes, we will begin.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Saurabh,
Yes, sir.
can we start?
Sir, Homa is preparing and we will be starting soon.
So, within within next 2-3 minutes, he will be ready, isn't it?
Sure, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Just a couple of minutes, ma'am.
Sir, sir, can we start?
Yeah, Huma. Saurabh, are you ready? Saurabh,
Yes, sir. Ready. Yes, sir.
good morning, good afternoon, everyone present. We are presenting before you a very important writer, translator, and linguist, Tahir Ganesh ma'am from Vilnius, Lithuania, and she will be speaking on writing route between continents. Uh, it will be a very enriching uh, speech and enriching deliberation that she will have amidst us, which will enlarge the understanding of the topic by our students who are present over here. Before that, I express my heartfelt gratitude and welcome you, ma'am, for finding time and accepting our invitation to be present with us today. I, on behalf of the Department of English, as well as Principal Karim City College, uh, welcome you from the depth of my heart to this session. And I welcome all the students and faculty members who are present here this afternoon. Ma'am, with these words, I express my gratitude towards you and welcome you once more. Now I request Homa Mahmood to introduce today's guest speaker. Homa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we have wait. Today we have gathered for a special and enriching academic session. It is privilege for us to welcome Ms. Tahir Gunesh, our distinguished guest speaker, who will be delivering a talk on a topic: writing routes between continents. Tahir Gunesh is a Turkish author and interpreter. She was graduated from the Arabic Translation Department of the International Islamic University, Islamabad. She can speak and write in 8 languages, including Urdu, Arabic, Persian, Spanish, and Hebrew. She worked as an official interpreter for various government offices. Since childhood, she is interested in philosophy and literature. She learned Persian due to her admiration for Allama Iqbal and her determination to understand his works better. She has two published books in Urdu, with the most recent one is a compilation of her short stories, Beyond the Caucasus Mountains. She translated two books of Samad Bahrangi from Turkish to Urdu and selected poetry of Turkish notable poets, including Yahya Kemal, Orhan Veli, Cemal Surayya, Jahid Kulehbi, Jahid Kulehbi, um, Badri Rahmi, Yupolu, and Nazim Hikmat. Some of her translations were published in notable Indian literary magazines. She has also been translating Azerbaijan classic poetry, and it will be published soon in Delhi, India. Her translation of Gian Turkish writer Ömer Seyfettin's selected stories from Turkish to Urdu in completed and will be published. Her translation of Jian Turkish writer Sefet'in selected stories from Turkish to Urdu is completed and will be published. She is married with a child. She currently lives in Vilnius, Lithuania, with her husband and her child. We are confident that today's session will be highly informative and intellectually stimulating for us, for all of us, offering valuable insights into literature, translation, and cross-cultural writing. Now, ma'am, stage is yours. Ma'am, please.
Thanks to Ashok sir and Rima and all the valuable and distinguished professors and students. Believe me that it's not a lecture because I am nobody to lecture such great minds. Rather, it's a talk over tea. Let's say it like this because it's weekend and we are talking over the table, not as a lecture, because as I said, I am nobody to lecture such great minds. But it's a sharing of knowledge. Let's start it like this because I have very interesting things to share with you. Because I am at the same time interested in etymology as well. How one word gets extracted or got its root from where? Like as you have seen, in English is such a language which always speak about like where certain word came from, and then it forms a family of compound words and then words upon words. You must be familiar with it. But when we speak about other languages, for example, Hebrew, so it's itself as a root language for many other languages, Semitic languages. So that's what I want to share with you, that how my curiosity drove me to learn certain languages, and I became a polyglot, and you can say super polyglot, because after 7 languages, you are counted as a super polyglot. But still, I consider myself as a disciple, as a pupil, still a person to learn a lot. So let's start.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes,
sorry to interrupt you, but your voice is not clear. I think the microphone is like a little bit far away from the.
should I increase my volume or?
Your voice is not clear. The volume is okay.
Now it's clear.
Speak something, ma'am.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
No, ma'am, it's feeble. I think you should increase the volume and place the microphone a little bit closer to your
Right,
mouth.
all right. I just removed it. So can you hear me now?
Now it's clear, ma'am. Thank
All
you.
right. So what part did you miss? Could you entirely not hear out, or?
No, the voice was not clear. It can be audible, but the voice was not clear. Now it's okay.
All right.
Brilliant.
So I can continue from where I left.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start from the writing process. Then we will come to the writing route of the continents. As you all know, because you are such knowledgeable people and you have extensive reading about writing, how interesting is it to read about writing? Like there are certain books about how to write. So then you are reading and then it enriches your writing process. So if we go back to Babylonia, which is actually the word Babi Ilu, which is Akkadian and Hebrew word for like Bab is the door, and then Ilu is the God, like the gate of God. So when you enter the city through a blue gate, it was a blue gate and it was called Babi Ilu. So then Babylonia and Babil, the word got nourished like this. So in Babylonia there were not God but goddess of writing. Her name was Mamo. Mamo was a goddess of writing, and as you all know that the first first civilized library in human history that we found is in Babylonia as well, like the Library of Babylonia, you must have heard. So the goddess of writing, why she was a female? Because you have seen that females have such brains that they can express, think, and on multiple topics at the same time, like they are multifocal. So she taught, like we also think that according to some evidences, Turks are Sumerians, and Sumerians are the ones who were living in that Mesopotamia and present-day Turkey. So they invented writing, the scribe. They were calling it scribe, like modern day, like kitaba. Kitab came from kataba, for like what is inscribed. Like it was, you people must know, before there was no kalem, there was no pen, so there was inscription. Like there is a tabula rasa, maybe you must know that empty slate, and you would inscribe the words in it. Like it would be from mud or clay, so you would just take a stick and write. This is the initial writing system. In Vilnius, Lithuania, there is a toy museum. Like it's so interesting that you can gain knowledge from anywhere. Like if you have this mind which is curious to gain knowledge, so it will attract to you like a magnet is attracting some metal. So I have a son, as you people know, he is 2 years old. He is born in Vilnius, so sometimes I take him over and we go around for a walk in the old town Vilnius. There is a toy museum. And one day while going with my son there, I just noticed on the walls that they have put brief history of every civilization, like what were their toys. And you know, there is Indus Valley civilization as well, that how like it's certainly India now. So Indus Valley civilization, how they were playing with what? Like now we are playing with some video games, some artificial things, but they were geniuses. Like they were playing this satranç, like we say in Turkish, the chess. So and then it came into Turkey as like şahmat. Like şahmat is like actually Arabic word. Is like shah is king, mat king died. So when the king dies, and you know, you lose the game. So, but in Persian they translated it something like sheh and mat, like someone is provoking you, and then you get defeated, or you defeat them. So I was looking at those very little inscriptions, that how some civilizations developed its playing games. So what I saw, that this Mesopotamian culture, they were playing with what? You know, their shoes were not normal shoes. You could wear it like a shoe, or take that shoe out, and you could play something like today is maybe carom, or maybe Ludo, some game like this, but it was your shoe. So then they thought, okay, now we have enough, how to say, we got enjoyed ourselves, we play games, we go hunting, we do lots of things, but what are these feelings that need expression, that they need to be written down, penned down somewhere? But penned down, but where? There were all this mud, clays, and stones available. So they then found ways to write, like on the trees, on the wood, on piece of like this mud, clay made the slate, or stone slate. So that's how writing began. Okay, when writing began, then people started, okay, now what to write? So that's how poetry, rhythm, and the expression started over the paper or papyrus. It came very later, but human mind was the first slate where words came out. Like when Ghalib says, maybe you all are familiar with Urdu, "Ghaib se aate hain ye mazamin Ghalib," or something like this. How the words are coming into the slate of his mind, and then he is penning it down. So how it started like this. So then coming to my journey, that how I started writing, same process, like we all come from like mud. So that mud, maybe my mud was from Mesopotamia. So how I when I was very young, maybe in second class, officially I started writing. And for my first write-up was Bilinmeyen Ada, the unknown island. So why unknown island? Again, the answer is in Mesopotamian culture, because we know that almost all civilizations, they sprung near water bodies. Like if you have seen Indus Valley civilization, there is Indian Ocean or Indus River. So Mesopotamia is, there are this rivers like this Dejlan, Ferat, like we say. So there is this Danube, you see. So my son name is also, his one part is Tuna. So in Turkish, Tuna means this Danube river. So we have very great affection with it. And in Turkish, you might see the names as Nehir, Derya, Deniz. They all like, Deniz mean ocean, Nehir is like one small river, or Derya is like a river, Okeanos is like ocean. So we have this culture which is strongly connected with water. So maybe this island, Ada in Turkish is island. So why it came to me that I should name my writing as island, like unknown island? Because this water body, maybe I was living near the water, that's why it connected my soul and it nourished my soul for this creativity. And then I didn't know that I would translate someone else's thoughts. So I remember that I present my writing that day in our annual function, as you people are familiar with students who are so excited to share their creative things at annual day, especially. So our district mayor was invited, and he gave me some cash prize, and our school said that she would already be getting cash prize because like I was a good student. So they said no, this is from me, this is from my side, this is special gift to her. So what I want to tell you from this story is that one encouragement, one push-up, that one cash prize, it pushed me so much that I thought I should write something more. Then I wrote a poetry about my mother, that because, okay, after your brain and heart, who comes first is your mother. Like, who you want to express something to is your mother, not even your father, it's your mother. So you, because you see, sometimes it is your land, motherland. That's why we call it motherland. So you express either something for your motherland or directly for your mother, biological mother. So I wrote a poetry for my mother. Again, I won a prize. So prize upon prize, I came to 7th class, long story short. And we had this teacher for English literature, and she was born and raised in Ireland. So you can imagine that this English poetry and English literature, you are learning directly from a lady who is from that culture, who can tell you about the poetry of William Wordsworth, about the daffodils, and about John Milton, John Keats, Shakespeare, and all the mighty names of English literature. My favorite one is Henry Longfellow, as you must know, he has the Psalm of Life. Life is earnest, life is you. So this poetry is my favorite. So you learn from such a lady that she can directly tell you about that English environment, that very English. So she introduced one activity day for us. Friday, she would say, okay, now weekend is coming. I would not give you any lessons. Each Friday, we would conduct an activity day in the class. Every student must present with their some creative material, not so long, just brief, to get that 5 marks. And 2 days, like in 2 activity days, I presented something very interested from like magazines, like something about Japan, something about like the Java and Sumatra, something like this. I remember about something about tsunami, but because it had passed in those recent years when I was child. So I was thinking, why she's giving me 3.5? Why not 5 out of 5? Then I came to know, okay, I need to create something of my own. But what? One day I was thinking, okay, tomorrow it's the last chance, and I have to grab that 5 marks from her. Then I thought of a poem. It's My Strange Wishes. It starts like, why the moon is white, why it's not some other color bright. So the rhythm and that poetry's that theme inspired my teacher so much that she presented me as example to other students that they can also write something like this interesting and something. So they all started copying me, or like they started following my path, let's say like this. Because if you can inspire even one mind, it's your victory. So after that, my teachers, they started sending me to writing competitions on district level, on provincial level, and then country level. And I never disappointed them. Always coming with some prize, always coming with some prize. But what made me more proud was receiving prize from United Nations with my mother. And we are at this event, and my mother does not know even one word of English. And I went on the stage and I said, I am here because of this lady who doesn't know even one word of English. And I wrote English poetry about ozone depletion. So that's why this UNDP, they gave me first prize for writing that poetry. So we always get developed by one attentive look of that teacher, as I have here in my listeners, teachers as well and students as well. So teacher has this in Urdu, like how they say, ik nigah kafi hai, like one sight to see that what student carries what. For example, like you must have heard about carrot, like not the carrot, the vegetable, like the gold carrot. So how do you know the word carrot came from? There's this karob, we call in Turkish keçi boynu, which means the neck of the goat, but it has some seeds. And you know, those seeds in Arabic are called carrot. Like in Urdu, it is kerat, or Arabic kerat, but in Turkish, ayar. So all the seeds, if you notice, they are of the same standard size, not small, not big. You might open that carob, that pot, and then when you see, all the seeds are of the same size. So in ancient times, they make this as a standard to measure gold. So like how we say, is it 24 karat gold? So those 24 seeds, when you weigh, and it makes one like pure gold, like how many ayar, like we say, the standard of gold. So this is how that one teacher can like, it teacher is like ayar, teacher is that karat through which you measure the students' intelligence, or their mental progress. And then later I started, I thought I would become a doctor because my family wanted me to be a doctor. There were lots of doctors in the family. So I studied 1 year in the medicine, and then I gave up because I thought I would be a very bad doctor, and I can be a very good polyglot if I continue with languages. So then I gave up on medicine, and I continued with languages and linguistics. and it opened open sesame. You must have heard this fable, this Alibaba and 40 thieves, that how the door is opening, then he says some words, and then it's wonderland is waiting them. So it was this process that made me translator, and translator at parliamentary level, with prime ministers, with ministers, with presidents, and with parliamentarians. When I was translating, I was thinking that it's another form of creativity, because there is so much pressure of spontaneity on you, because news headlines are made through what you speak. So that was another type of experience, being interpreter. So by interpreter, I want to tell you some another thing, which like we will go to the writing between continents. You might be familiar with this. This Indian embassy has gifted me this. This is called parrot, and in our language it is papan, and in Arabic it is baba, and in Urdu you must know it is tota or tuti. So being interpreter also means that you are copying someone's words and conveying. So what parrot does is also the same, but it carries intellectual meaning in Turkish classical poetry. Why I showed you parrot now, because now I am going to tell you that how Turkish literature get influenced by Indian literature. Like how, because we say that wisdom flows from the east and it goes to the west. So in the similar way, India was very rich in wisdom, in folk wisdom. So for Turkish people, it was always like, as far as I read Turkish history and Turkish literature, it is always something like masal diyarı. It's like, how to say, like a fairy tale land for us. So at that time of Turks, they had no access to Hindustan, no access to India. So only access was through Indian Ocean. But how to go there? It like common person would not even think of going there. India was very close to Persia. So Turkish poets or Turkish literary figures, they would read Persian poets. That's how they take Indian wisdom into their intellectual capacity or writings, and then they would copy it from them and then translate into Turkish literature. So very interesting thing, as I showed you parrot. If there was no parrot in Turkish poetry, a big chunk of Turkish divan edebiyatı, like we say, the Turkish classical poetry, which is in the time of Ottoman Empire, like from the start of the Ottoman Empire until the end of Ottoman Empire, we have this classical poetry called divan edebiyatı. So this divan edebiyat would lose its big chunk if there was not parrot there as a metaphor. So parrot was metaphor in India for speaking sweetly and most importantly with how to say, with such a melody that people would love to listen. Like think about an animal who has no brain to think, or like in English you must know this language acquisition center. Animals do not have this language acquisition center as Noam Chomsky has divided humans and animals through this property or characteristic. So think of an animal, of a bird who doesn't process things in its own brain. It cannot create words, but it can copy. So Indian poets, they were calling it tuti or tutu, and then Persian poets, they copied it like tuti Hind, tuti Hoshnava, like the parrot with a good voice. So Turkish poetry copied this metaphor, and then they started using it in multiple ways. Like in Anatolian, and you must have heard that Turkey is divided between two continents, European and the Asian. So the Asian or Anatolian side, Turkish is a little bit different, like what Istanbuli Turkish is standard because it's like more kind of European, more civilized, but Anatolian is like more like how can I say, more harsh, or more like it doesn't exist in it some civilized, let's say, some words. But it is very rich, as it is highly influenced with Persian and Arabic. So they accepted it. They have this word dudu for this parrot. Then they started comparing the lips of the lover with parrot's lips, and after Ottoman Empire lost its territory to different countries, nowadays Syria, but former Turkey, there was an Arabic poet. He was known as Baba because he was having this stammering in his tongue. So his poetry was very good. Like I remember when we were graduating in Arabic, I always would admire one poetry, which I am translating it to you because you would not understand in Arabic. He said, "Be careful while choosing your friends. And do not choose them before you test them, because every distilled or refined vinegar is not pure. Because if you see, there is this chemical process for the distillation of vinegar. Even if you distill it, so every vinegar is not edible. So he says that every friend is not noble, or even if you go through friendship with them, so always test them as you test the vinegar." So I always wonder, who is this poet? And his name was Abul Faraj al-Baba. So he was known as Baba, as a parrot, because he was stammering with his tongue. So these Turks, on the other side, they would just how to say, not bully, but through poetic criticism, they would use his name in the poetry as Baba, because I told you that parrot from India, which is portrayed in in Feriduddin Attar's book, the Mantakutair, Conversation of Birds. Like, as you must be familiar with that book, that in that book, parrot says, "Okay, I want to drink Abi Hayat, which is the elixir of life, that if you drink it and you will be immortal." So parrot was the only bird which said, I would go and drink it. And then there he met the prophet Hizr. And that's why in Turkish poetry, its wings, I mean the green wings, the green color is often associated with Prophet Hizr. I would be presenting you some sample of Turkish poetry who, like the big names like Baki, Fuzuli, Naili, and Nef'i. They are like giant poets of Turkish classical poetry. So they used all this parrot in these meanings, that the parrot's green feather, they represent the Prophet Hizr. And sometimes they even said, like, you see, the word candy came from Indian kand, like it was the sugar cane. The sugar cane, what you call it? It's like the sweet, the molasses you achieve from the sugar cane's juice. It was something new for Persian people. As I said, that in India, this sugarcane molasses, it was a new thing for Persians. They had no idea of sugar. So they took this sugar and they call it nishkar, the stick of the sugar cane, the cane, they call it nishkar. So when I was reading classical Turkish poetry, and now my classical Azerbaijani Turkish poetry is going to be very soon published in Delhi. So I was always thinking, what is the connection between Nishker, between parrot, like in the same stanza, they would say Nishkare Hindustan and Tuti Hind. So I would say, why sugarcane and why this parrot? And then after reading so many articles about it, I came to know that when you feed parrot with more sweet, it would copy you even more, and it would imitate and talk to you even sweetly. So, and if you put a mirror in front of parrot, it would start copying even itself, and it would start speaking even more quickly. So, poets said in their romantic era of Turkish classical poetry to their lovers that you are like a parrot for whom I need to bring this sugarcane from Hindustan, from India. So because it is the sweetest sugarcane, and then you will talk to me. Or sometimes they would say that my heart in my chest is like a newborn parrot, like bachai tuti, and God has made my ribs as a cage for it, like my skeleton is cage for it. And like, now imagine the beauty of the poetry, which came from only one word, from one metaphor, and it came from Hindustan. So how Turkish poetry is enriched through just one metaphor. Like, I'm not going into other words details. For example, I will be reading in front of you some poetry, and then I will tell you something like, you must have heard about Fuzuli. He is undisputedly a great poet of Azerbaijani origin, Azerbaijani Turkish, and we in Turkey as well regard him as a greatest Turkish poet. He says like, ne ola gördükçe seni olsa Fuzuli güya, sen bir aynasın ol tuti şirin güftar. So Fuzuli says that when I see you, my like the stammering in my dil, like, you know, in Urdu you say dil to heart, but in Turkish poetry it's very interesting that when they want to say, like, normally it is kalp in the in Turkish for heart, but when you read these classical Turkish poets, they mean dil as a heart. Normally dil in Turkish means language or tongue. So it's very interesting that these master poets, they are using dil directly, like from Indian word dil, like they are using dil as heart, not as a tongue. So they say that if I see you and I start talking like a parrot, like as you are a mirror, and I am like tuti shirin guftar. So I turned into a sweet talking parrot. Like, you see, this metaphor, it did not exist before that in Turkish poetry. So credit goes to India. And Baki was also very famous Turkish giant poet, and he also said, Tuti gibi hoş nükteler öğretti dehanun, Baki gibi üstadı suhan pervere cana. So he says, oh my beloved, you know, your tongue, your mouth has taught Baki, like a person like a Baki who think himself is a very big poet. So he make him fluent in speaking just because of your tongue. So there are lots of poetry I want to share with you, like, but we have very limited time, so I want to like, you must have heard about the word kant, like kalakant, gülkant. So this kant is actually candy in English, which came again from India through Persia. Like, this writing route is continuing, like from subcontinent and then to Asia, like the Asia Minor, or like we say Asya Küçük, and then it goes to Europe, like it comes to Istanbul, and then from Istanbul it goes ahead. So this writing route, like lots of people know Hindustan for spices, but we know it for its metaphors and words and wisdom. How it travels not only through Silk Route but through Indian Ocean. I will be saying very famous poet Nef'i. He was very big poet in Turkey. Ne kandı nazm-ı şirinim gibi süker olur hasıl. Ne hamem gibi gördü kimse tutiyi şeker hay. Like he says that not you will find sweetest used language in poetry like mine, like how I write, you will not find with other poets. Nor you will find how I write, because I think myself as a Tuti from Hind, because it was something very special in those days. And also Turks, these poets, they were also fond of drinking wine, like think red wine in kadeh. Like kadeh is in Turkish we call to a drinking cup or a drinking glass. So it would be like, think that this rind, like they would say that halkay rind, the circle of all the drunkards, they are like a net to capture that parrot, like that glass of wine. So how beautiful metaphor. You would not find it in any English poetry, even like with John Keats, or let's say with William Wordsworth, whom I appreciate the most. But you see the enrichment of Turkish poetry with just one metaphor, that how they use it in multiple ways. Sometimes calling the red lips as a parrot lips because they are red, and sometimes the feather is green as a chamber of beauty. So in many ways they use it. Also this thing ahead of this, like, okay, this thing came from Persia, but also you might have heard about Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. He was also a poet, and he was very just sultan. He liked to make justice and peace through his lands. So he received some complaints from the pilgrims who would go to Mecca to perform Hajj. So they said that we are being looted in Arabian Sea or Persian Gulf or Indian Ocean by these Portuguese pirates. So he sent his admiral, Seydi Ali Reis, at that time very great admiral, and he fought with Portuguese with his army, with his with his capacity. But after some time, there was one typhoon came in. It was named as Tufan Fil. Fil in Turkish is elephant. So Tufan Fil was, as it's called by Indians, that the elephant typhoon came, and they were pushed back to Indian side. So then he had to meet the Mughal emperor Humayun at that time, and Humayun had just attained the throne, and in 1553, and there he met little Akbar as well, who would be the future king, and he was at that time 12 years old. So Seydi Ali Reis, if you see his travelogue, the earliest travelogue available in Ottoman Turkish and Çağatay language, they're extinct now. Like you cannot find them anymore. But like you can find, but people who can read them are not so common. Like you cannot find them easily. They can be either scholar or like I can read in Ottoman Turkish, but not every Turk can read in Ottoman Turkish, and definitely not in Çağatay Turkish. Like in Hindustan, you must have this name, Çağatay. So it is not Çağatay, it is Çağatay. So this Çağatay Turkish, he wrote about Hindustan in very good words. So it rose curiosity among people that we should also visit Hindustan. What is there? And from there, one metaphor, another came. Bulunmaz Hint kumaşı. It is like very, very valuable Indian cloth, it means. So, for example, nowadays, if we say that someone is very valuable or he is hard to find, so we say you are like bulunmaz Hint kumaşı, like you are the one who is not easily found, like Indian fabric. This is still used, and also we use this tamare hindi for this. How do you say in Urdu? Imli, tamarind. So it's like tamarind hindi in Turkey. Very very good sherbet we use in Ramazan, for example, from this. And also I will share with you very funny thing. Like we have we had one diplomat friend and colleague, and he invited me to his shop. His father was selling this Turkish delights, and his father is showing me his plant. How do they make all these sweets, not from glucose, but he is putting honey in this. So in this process, so he showed me the catalog and say, okay, this is Turkish and this is English translation with it for the customers who do not understand Turkish. And what I read there, in the coconut delight, like they wrote, because in Turkish we call the coconut as Hindistan cevizi, or it literally means like Cevzel Hindi in Arabic, which means walnut from India or nut from India. So they wrote that Hindistan cevizi lokumu, like the Turkish delight with coconut, they wrote with Indian happiness. Like, see, delight, they translated as Indian happiness. So I often used to tell him that this is, you see, this is a neologism. Like you have coined very, very beautiful word with India, that not coconut, but Indian happiness. So that was another thing. Like after the classical Turkish poetry, then we have this earliest travelogue, which is about India, and after that, in the modern era, like after Sayed's time, like let's come to the educational side. I was reading one book about the travelogue of Allama Shibli Nomani. So he was sent by Sir Syed, if I am not wrong, he was sent to Turkey during the reign of Sultan Abdul Hamid Khan. And he was very strong Sultan, and he was so happy to receive Allama Shibli Nomani from Hindustan. So he asked him, what is your purpose of visit? And he said that I am here to see your education system. That how can we modernize our system, we can facilitate our students, because there was East India Company, and they were trying to formulate some kind of subjects which can capture or captivate the minds of Indian Muslims especially, and Indians, Hindus, so they can divide them on such basis. So Allama Shibli Nomani was given award of Nishani Sultan by Sultan Abdul Hamid, and Allama Shibli Nomani quotes that he visited Turkish dormitories, and he first time saw that students are served with meals as well. So this was something new that he would tell Sir Syed, that you see, Turks are even taking care of their students, not only for their brains, but for their body as well, that they can stay fit and they can be a good persons in the future. So this is how it developed, the writing relations, the wisdom sharing, because you see it is on both sides. Like before it was Turkey who went to India to seek help and seek wisdom from them in such a thing. But then later it was Indians who saw that Turks are ahead of in Muslim countries, among Muslim countries, Turkey is ahead of its time. So let's grab their wisdom or their techniques, that how do they educate people and how do they write. And at that in that journey, Allama Shibli Numani met many scholars from Turkey, which he quoted in his book as well. So it's always mutual sharing of knowledge, mutual sharing between continents. So I think it was enough for today for you people, that I spoke about only one thing, because if we had more time, I could talk more about more things which are very interesting to me. And especially my book is coming now in India. So I am very excited, because while translating that book, I had to go back to Persian roots, to its Indian roots, because only in Turkish dictionaries I could not find the meaning, because there was always something more than meaning, like folded meanings. And then because I now I realize that all this in Indian folk literature, for example, like Panchtantra, I must mention, because without mentioning it, my talk would not be completed. Kalile ve Dimna, it give rise to another type of literature in the West. Like in Turkey, it was translated as Tutiname, and then the 1001 Nights, like Alf Lila Valila, or like in Urdu Hazar Dastan. It was translated as Arabian Nights in English, but it gave rise to like Aesop's fable, like La Fontaine, or like this Anderson tales, like lots of such things, because West was always lacking some folk wisdom. So it borrowed from India, and then through how, like from India to Persia and Turkey, and then from Turkey to the West. So I always say that India is the cradle of knowledge. So I am nobody again to tell you all that how writing shaped our intellect through time. It was very kind of you to listen it from me.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening deliberations, which we have heard just now. And now it is for our students who have been hearing you with so much of interest to ask some clarification from you, some questions from you. I think that will be a very good opening for them to get knowledge from yourself.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I am ready to answer if I could.
I have one doubt to you, or a doubt to ask from you to clarification, as you are a translator also, and
Yes.
you have deliberated upon how the language has been influenced by the cultures, linguistics of different continents. So when you are translating something from one language to another, are you completely sticking to the spirit of the text, or sometimes you transcend the text and you rewrite the poem?
This is very good question. Actually, I want to speak about it. Yes, sometimes they say that sometimes translator kills the soul of the text, the original text. But you see, if a translator is enriched with both languages and he has spent time in both cultures, for example, like if in Turkey in Turkish literature, for example, if I see, and I have seen lots of Turkish translations which are now present in Urdu. For example, now, like my Pakistani friends, when they send me some text from Turkish literature, and I clearly see that it is translated not directly from Turkish but from English. For example, Orhan Pamuk's my favorite book, and it is included in the list of the most influential books in Turkish literature in this past 100 years, The Museum of Innocence. It's Masumiyet Müzesi in Turkish, and it is translated by one Pakistani translator, and she translated it from English. You can clearly see that she had skipped the entire paragraph, which was explaining how the main protagonist was a feeling of romance for the girl. Like, it is a modern Turkish literature. Like, it involved the kissing scenes, the romantics. So she skipped it because she thought for Pakistani society it would not be acceptable to read such text. But you must remain faithful to the text. For there, I just cannot understand that either she was not able to translate this, like intranslatability factor had hindered her thoughts to transform it, or like she self-filtered it because she thought it's not inappropriate. So yes, she killed the soul of the entire novel, because that passage says it was the happiest day of my life. So why it was the happiest day of my life? Because the hero is saying, that the protagonist say, the Kemal is the hero there. He says that because I kissed Fusun, I kissed that girl, and you are skipping all the entire scene from that novel. So yes, sir, translators many times kill the soul of the text, but they should not. But what is the best way to do is, you should not rewrite. Or I am totally against it, because in translations, like we are taught in translation studies, you cannot add or delete something into the text which just take that, like divert the meaning of the main theme to something else. So you are not allowed. So you should stay faithful. But yes, sometimes it cannot be as pleasant as it was in the original text. For example, if I translate Galib into Turkish, it would not be as pleasant to hear as it is in Urdu. So yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your clarifications. Uh, I also face these types of problems when I do translations. That's why I had just asked from you.
Solution for it, sir. Then I just coin some term which is acceptable for both cultures, or I explain that word. For example, if there is, for example, you have this pan leaf. Pan is like, if you say beetle leaf, it's not conveying the same meaning. So you need to explain that thing. For example, in Turkish as well, there are some like leaves, like ıhlamur leaves. They are consumed in winter, especially to avoid flu and fever. So again, that Urdu translator, she translated this like it's in English linden tree, and she translated it as a lime tree. So it diverts the meaning. See, lime is totally different. Yes, I agree, linden comes from lime tree, but you see, she doesn't know Turkish language. Had she read directly from Turkish, that's why I'm translating myself directly from Turkish into Urdu, to maybe teach people how to translate, or maybe how to get, like, how to say in Urdu, lutf lena from the original text.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Saurabh,
Thanks.
any question from our students?
Yes, sir,
Saurabh?
there are two participants. They would like to ask some questions.
Yeah, yeah.
Kanak and Saima, you can ask your questions now.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
We are glad that we hear from you about the translation.
Thanks.
My
My
question
pleasure.
is, thank you, ma'am. My question is that how has translation impacted the global reach of Turkish literature?
You are asking as in general for all the languages or just any specific language from
Uh,
Turkish into?
Turkish influencing, like.
Yes. We have influenced great way because whenever I go, like wherever I go, I travel because my husband is a diplomat, so that's why I'm here as well. So whenever we go through some places, some countries, and I meet people like leave alone diplomats, leave alone like high ups. I meet common people like shopkeepers, sellers, and some they would always come up with like this Turkish thing, like Turkish coffee, the Turkish way of saying hello, or Turkish way of saying goodbye, or Turkish way of we have how to say this tablecloth, and it has this we call it dantel, but you can say this crochet work. So it is very common for Turkish grannies to do it. So when I hear it from people, why it came there? What do you think? Through translations, like they would mention the books. Okay, they have read. Definitely, translation is playing main key because. First of all, the initiative of Turkish government, the Ministry of Culture and Education, they have set up one program that if you translate from Turkish into other languages, they would support you or the publisher in publishing that book, or like they will give you grants. So you without any financial pressure, you can publish that book, or it can reach to many global audience. So when I see like from like I last week we were preparing for Christmas charity bazaar. Like we have an international women organization, like which includes diplomat spouses. So we come from, and this time Indian embassy was the host for us to hand over that money to all the beneficiaries. So we met, and I met one Russian lady, and she was talking to me in very fluent Turkish. And I asked her how come she know all this, and she said, "I read this book about this Turkish author, this book, this book, this book," and I was simply so much energized to hear from her that it was only through translations. And then I asked her, "How about Russian translations, from Turkish to Russian?" She says they are not as good. Like you see, then it felt her the urge to read it directly in Turkish. Like you see, she thought that Russian translations are not good. So she said, I would directly learn Turkish to read it from the direct source. So yeah, it's a global impact. Translation has played a great role.
Thank you, ma'am, for this.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for sharing your insights on the writing route between continents. My question is, how do you research unfamiliar continents or cultures in your writing?
That's also very interesting question, and I am interested in this topic. One of my teachers, she used to tell me that meaning exists within the word, but how do we look at it? For example, if we look at a word, like we might think, okay, I should open a dictionary for it, but how to look at a dictionary is also a topic of research. Like many researchers do not know how to look at the dictionary. Like they would say, okay, I didn't find this word in this specific dictionary, or I didn't see this word under this category, so maybe I should leave it because it is intranslatable. No, it's not intranslatable. It is that you are not curious enough to find for another sources. For example, sometimes I get meaning more out of dictionaries. Like most of the times I don't find it in dictionaries. For example, I sometimes ask my husband, what does this mean? That can you explain it to me? And he said, no, I do not understand it. Maybe you understand it better. And sometimes I would think for nights upon nights, what does this mean? And what book should I look for? And then suddenly I am watching TV and somebody is saying that specific word.
And then I say, okay, how did they use this word? And I would go into the context of the dialogue, or I would see, or if I go somewhere in street, I would see something which conveys the meaning of that. Or maybe I see something on like you people must go to the book fairs. Like in any country, you should see where they make book fairs, meeting writers, or meeting even common people over a cup of tea. So I between conversations, sometimes I find meaning, or like where to look for, or where to get that material from, to look at it. Maybe some people looking down upon those research papers or those articles, or like we have this technology. Although I do not get satisfied with artificial intelligence, because like I said, I was translating this Azerbaijani culture, this classical poetry, and I found this word nishker. And they misled me. This AI misled me to ney. Ney is a flute. In Rumi era, it's Ashok sir must know. In Turkish, we have this tradition for ney Navaz, was some people who would play flute in the Sufi culture. So this ney or flute, it personifies the human body, and the voice coming out of it is a soul of human. So it misled me there. So I just left it, and I thought, okay, in Persian, nishker means sugar cane. And then the next word was parrot. So I said, okay, what is the link between sugar cane and parrot? And then next word was Hindustan. So okay, here you find the link. As sugar cane grows in Hindustan, and parrot is eating it, and poet is getting meaning out of it. So you see, sometimes meanings are in the word. You do not have to look it somewhere, but sometimes you have to look everywhere to find meaning. So it's not a one-day process. That's why it took me 4 to 5 years to compile this book.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I have a question.
Yes.
How did you learn? How did you learn different languages, and what difficulties did you face during your journey of learning different languages? What was your motivation for learning 7 or 8 languages?
Yes, it's very interesting question. Also near to my heart. You see, I was reading a book. It was, I think its name was Chicken Soup for Soul. And there it was stated that one person came to Socrates and said, I want to learn everything that you know. So can you teach me very briefly? And I don't want to waste so much time. He didn't say, I want to use or utilize time. He said, I don't want to waste so much time. As you have grown old, I just want to learn it so quickly. And he took him to the water pond, and he just put his head in the water, and that man said, you are strangling me in the water, and you are drowning me, and I will die. He said, right now, what do you feel? What should you get? He said, oxygen. And Socrates take him out from the water and said, when you feel this type of urge to get knowledge, then come to me, because then you are ready to get what I want to give. So I had this type of urge to get knowledge. Like I told you before that I was going into medicine, but then I thought I would be a common doctor. I would be one doctor among millions, like million doctors. But if I became a polyglot, I will be one in the millions. So now you see the combinations I have. Like someone when hears that I know Hebrew, that they get surprised. And when I speak like lots of Jews I meet, and then most of people tell me, are you from Israel? And I said no. And then they say, but you are replying in Hebrew. I said, because you asked in Hebrew. And then they ask, how do you know Hebrew? And then I say, it's a long story, but I was always thinking that every knowledge must have some source, and Hebrew is the mother of many languages. So I must know it to get more, just as a language, not as a Muslim. Like we feel that okay, we are with Palestine, we are blah blah blah, but I do not see any prejudice with language. Language is a source of knowledge, so you should learn it from wherever you get it. First thing, and then many languages, they were linked to each other. Like if I didn't know Persian, I would not know Urdu. If I didn't know these two, I would face many difficulties in learning Arabic. And what difficulty I faced most was, uh, first of all, people doubting you why you are learning so many languages. Maybe you are a spy or something. So that is the difficulty you are like looked down upon. And then people nowadays, unfortunately, do not know the value of wisdom, that you are just after the wisdom, or just educational purposes you are learning it. They always doubt you. One thing, another was writing way of these languages, like Persian, Arabic, and Urdu. I faced the most difficulty was writing, how to write, because it always give me pain in my elbow, in my hands, in my fingers. Like how, that's why I just now type on my notepad, because it's very difficult for me to write it, because I am a person who likes to translate with pencil. Like there is a book in front of me, and then I directly translate from it. So these are the difficulties I faced. Otherwise, no other difficulties while learning.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Another question, ma'am.
Yes.
How much effort is required to become a successful translator? And can you share some of your struggle and experiences?
Yes, it involves a great deal of effort. Like, for example, people will come and they will, for example, if you translate something, and some people will come and say, oh, this is not right. This should be done like this. But you say, okay, their languages are like ocean, and you are taking drop by drop from it. So you can say, okay, I have a bottle of that wisdom, or bucket of wisdom, that I was capable to gain from such a huge ocean. I may be not able to get the same water as you have, but you see that you can read it or no, you can understand it or no. Maybe if you are good at it, you can give it a try. So these people then will not ask you how to translate it. And you should be able to answer, so because you should read. That's why you should have more general knowledge. Like for a translator, like we were taught in the first lecture of translation studies, uh, two languages or many languages are not enough for a translator to become a good translator. Why? Because you need cultural knowledge, you need general knowledge, you need geographical knowledge. For example, if I do not know where is subcontinent located, or India or Delhi is located, or if I do not know where Agra is located, so how would I be able to say something about Lal Kala or Taj Mahal? How would even I express it? What is the importance of Ganges or Yamuna? Like rivers, they are just not rivers. You all know they are not only rivers. They are so many. Like they are holy waters. They mean so much to Indian people. So if I do not know Indian culture, or if I am not familiar with the language enough, only knowing the meaning of Ganga Jamuna, or like I translated Ganga Jamuna, it will not suffice. Because when I, like in such sessions, when somebody asks me, for example, a curious student like you, how to explain it, what is your inspiration for it or behind it, so how do I respond to it? That's why a translator must be having such tools. First, confidence as well, because he is presenting, and he is the representative of the source text. So you should be capable of knowing all your source text and the target text as well, the target audience. For example, if I'm speaking instead of you some fifth graders, or seventh graders, my speech would be much more different, because I would speak in what scale of wordings they understand, and what scale of understanding you are at. So it also matters in translation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Any other question left, Saurav?
No, sir, there are no questions left. I would
Ashok?
request Huma to proceed with the vote of thanks.
Now, following this session, I request Ms. Khushi to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Huma. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am.
Good
As
evening.
Good evening. As we draw this insightful session to a close, I deem it a great honor and a privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the editions of Writers Beyond Distance, an initiative that has truly lived up to its name today by bridging the geographical miles between Jamshedpur and Wellness. First and foremost, on behalf of the PG department of our English Karim City College, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to our esteemed guest, Ms. Tahir Gunes. Ma'am, your discourse on the writing route between continents has been profoundly illuminating. As a student of literature, we are often confined to text. However, your perspective as a Turkish writer and translator working out of Lithuania has provided us with a rare lived understanding of cross culture narratives and the fluidity of the language. Thank you, ma'am, for your sharing your creative journey and for reminding us that literature is indeed a home for every soul. Thank you, ma'am. I must express our sincere thanks to the administration of Karim City College for their constant support in fostering an environment of global academic exchange. A special word of thanks to the PG Department of English. We are grateful to our professor and the organizers of this initiative for their vision and curating this session, which allow us to interact with the global voices and expand our intellectual horizons beyond the classroom. Finally, I thank my fellow peers and participants for your presence and your engaging questions. Your curiosity is what makes this dialogue truly vibrant. Thank you all once again. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay, ma'am, thank you so much for your brilliant deliberations, which our students have been very much benefited.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I am eager to know their response, that I did not get them bored with my talk, which was long indeed. And just if they respond to this, I would be glad that they enjoyed the talk.
No, they enjoyed because otherwise questions would not have come. They,
Yes,
they,
yes, that's it.
they really enjoyed. All of us enjoyed your lecture.
Yes, as I say, with this note, I will say goodbye to you. If I inspire even one mind, even one brain, it means that I have gained something. So from here, among all these minds, if I have inspired even one brain, I think it's today's session or today's lecture was successful. So I wish you all the best in your careers, in your life, in what you achieve or what you aspire to. And Ashok sir, for your kind and how to say that your benevolent presence, it made it even more, how to say in Urdu, maybe char chand laga diye your presence here. So sir Yahya is not present, and my deepest thanks to him as well, because he was the source for
No,
me to connect with
he
you all.
wants to be present, but he's engaged in some other event today, our college event.
Yes, he had informed me. So I hope that you can convey him that it was not a waste of time with me.
No,
It
no,
would
it
be
was
nice.
a very wonderful time with you, and we all relished your speech, your deliberations, and we have been highly rewarded by your deliberations.
Thank you, sir. I say goodbye to you all. Thanks.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Goodbye.
much.
Goodbye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was such an inspiration and informative session.
I am so happy to hear this. It means that you made my day.
Thank you, ma'am.
I hope to see you all in India. Maybe if I came to my book opening ceremony, I will visit your college.
Yeah,
That
sure,
will be a
ma'am.
pleasure. That will be a
Yes,
pleasure, ma'am.
I will try to come to your college and let's see face to face.
Okay, ma'am. Looking
Okay.
forward to see. Looking
Have a good
forward to see.
evening. See you, sir. Goodbye.
Goodbye, ma'am.